As we reach mid-career or the halftime of life, many of us find ourselves at a crossroads. Careers that once defined us may be losing their luster. Our children may be leaving the nest, and personal priorities are shifting. And in the middle of all of this transition, one constant remains: the importance of human connection and friendships. And these relationships become the glue that hold us together, providing support, encouragement, and meaning as we navigate new chapters of our lives. So here we explore why that connection is so vital, and especially during our mid-years, and how to cultivate and nurture these invaluable bonds with each other. So stay tuned.
This podcast is brought to you by DJ Works Media and HalftimeSuccess.com, offering resources and insights for those at mid-career or the halftime of life. Explore our diverse categories, including courses, coaching, health, music, software, and travel. We're here to help you make this stage of life your best ever. So get our new articles, downloads, and podcasts by signing up for weekly updates at goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter. Now, let's dive into today's episode.
Why does connection matter more than ever at mid-career, midlife, halftime? Well, human connection is more than just a luxury. It's a necessity for our overall mental well-being. And research consistently shows us that strong social interaction improves our mental health. It can lower our stress, and it can even contribute to better physical health. Well, these connections become even more crucial as we face unique career changes, family and physical challenges. All of these things happen at this time of our lives. And the risks of isolation are significant. And in fact, some of our friends have moved away out of state, and our kids are no longer in school with kids and parents that also were expanded to be a part of our social group. And some of our career network groups, well, they've changed. And it's been more difficult to stay in contact with those colleagues that became so much closer when we worked together. And without some of those connections, well, it becomes easier to fall into the patterns of just doing projects by ourselves and facing maybe a bit of loneliness or stagnation. And it takes an intentional effort to contact and to nurture new as well as old friendships, especially for entrepreneurs or business owners who are busy. So let's talk about the unique value of friendships. Now, friendships at mid-career or the halftime of life, well, they carry a unique depth that comes from sharing life experiences and the unique challenges that come with, well, gracefully growing older. Well, conversations are different. They're actually a bit more humorous to think about how we talk now. We're talking more about maybe doctor appointments, face creams, and, oh yes, our bucket lists. And there's a higher probability that friends at this stage of our lives they're kind of over themselves. They're not as worried about image and climbing some sort of corporate ladder. And these relationships, they offer a perspective that only comes with time and similar shared life experiences. Now, at this stage, friends can serve also as mentors, accountability partners, or collaborators, and they provide insight and wisdom, helping us tackle those challenges really with more clarity. Now, of course, this is built on trust. A trusted friend might help us weigh the pros and the cons of a career pivot or offer advice on balancing personal and professional goals. And because of this, well, I've added an offering to even my individual courses. I've added a mentorship guidance And this adds not only the possibility of another deep relationship for giving input to others, but also it adds accountability and, yes, a type of friendship, even though it's more a professional relationship than a friendship. So, how much time does it take to nurture those connections? One of the biggest hurdles to maintaining friendships at halftime of life is time. Between career demands and family responsibilities, many are handling aging parents as well as kids and personal aspirations. It can feel just impossible to take time out for relationships. However, small, consistent efforts can go a long, long way in nurturing these connections. And we saw during the shutdowns how technology can be a lifesaver in staying connected. People missed each other. They missed being together. And text messages, video calls, or social media, it can help bridge that gap when schedules just don't align. And I used to go to the gym regularly, early every morning. But after our world shut down, those gyms were all closed. And when they opened back up, well, they just didn't open up early enough for me. So my husband and I had built into our own workout area with weights and other equipments. But what I've missed most is the interaction with others, especially during the fitness classes. So I've had to take the effort to join, a walking group in my neighborhood and plan some different events that I can host to get to know some of my neighbors better. And also when there are events that include those who I'd like to stay in contact with, I take the effort to attend. Now, this is intentional because I'm basically an introvert. For example, there's a reunion of sorts for Grammy voters coming up, and I RSVP'd as I feel it's important to see some of those contacts in person that I've only communicated with online for the past year or two. And many of those contacts, well, they're from all around the world. But it was very, very special for me to hear from some of those contacts as they checked in on me during the recent intense fires in our area. And all this is a great time for me to go personally and thank those people. So how do we build new relationships? While maintaining existing friendships is important, building new ones can be equally rewarding, and it's never too late to form meaningful connections. Well, it just takes effort. And we've seen a huge surge of groups getting together. How about this? Because of the popularity of pickleball. And if you're seeing tennis courts with additional lines and nets, well, you realize pickleball has infiltrated many, many areas. And this is because it's fairly easy to pick up the game and it provides a wonderful social get together. And you don't have to be a top athlete to play. In fact, in some places, you can just go show up and enjoy the outing. Now, there's a lot of other events like reading groups, Bible studies, clubs for both men and women, business groups, and many more types of opportunities are occasions to meet new people who align with our evolving values and interests. The issue then becomes to not become overly committed, which is not always easy. It does take time and effort, but it's well worth expending that energy. And the payoff can be just extremely rewarding. Well, the role of friendship in reinventing yourself. This is an important point here. Because many at the time of life, stage of life, they're starting to think, okay, I'm on just coasting through my job now. I kind of like to think about what's next. So during halftime or midlife, which according to the internet, actually, it happens after the age of 40. It comes fast. Well, it's often a time of reinvention, whether it's starting a new career, launching a business, or really exploring more personal goals. And having supportive friends, boy, it can make all the difference. They provide encouragement, a sounding board, and they help us celebrate successes and even offer a listening ear during setbacks. And surrounding ourselves with those people who inspire and challenge us, wow, it is just crucial for our continual growth. But beware of those who are energy suckers. Be careful not to be dragged down by those with a constant negative attitude or a doom and gloom outlook. Oh my goodness, we hear so much about that, whether it's happening, neighborhoods or politically or whatever. And I choose to spend more time with those people who share a positive ambition and optimism. And the energy is contagious. That's not to say we don't look to lift each other's up when they're down, but make sure we're not overtaken by those who can continually just drag us down. Also, it's fun to add some younger friends with their perspectives and enthusiasm. They're usually welcoming us in. And I've had great conversations with some of our kids' friends who are now all adult children. And it's refreshing when we can respect each other, we can laugh, and we can even learn from each other. And it's funny how we can have a lot in common. So let's talk about some practical steps to deepen friendships. And deepening friendships, it doesn't just require all these grand gestures. And often it's just the small, consistent acts of kindness and thoughtfulness that matter most. So here's a couple of practical ways to strengthen your relationship. And you can see these in the article. I'm enclosing with this as well. So make sure you get the link to that article and you check that out. So number one, be present. Listen, and listen. Give your full attention. And during conversations, it's time to put away the phone and the distracting things around us and show maybe a genuine interest in what your friends have to say. Look them in the eye. And number two, give. Regularly, let your friends know how much you appreciate them. And since we're on a property where we have fruit trees, it's really fun to share the abundance when that fruit comes in. I keep plenty of small bags handy. It doesn't cost me anything except for picking the fruit. And I also like to send those little handwritten notes. And those types of notes, they're unusual enough to receive that they're really impactful and they're appreciated. And number three, show some vulnerability. Sharing thoughts and feelings, it fosters trust and deepens connections. I mean, we're not all perfect, and you'll be amazed at how similar and even humorous some of our experiences can be. And four, be reliable. Consistency builds trust. Isn't it horrible when someone's supposed to show up and they don't? It's a waste of time. So follow through on those commitments and be there with your friends and for your friends in times of need. And a couple of my friends, they just lost their mothers. And I know how that feels. It's hard. So following up, not just days after, but months after, and even a year after, it's important because grief doesn't just last for a day or even a week. So how can we just really apply this? Well, the value of community is at its core about that friendship and about building that community. It becomes an extension of our own families. Strong communities, they're built on the foundation of meaningful connections and where individuals are supportive and they uplift each other. So by fostering those relationships, we create that ripple effect that benefits not only ourselves, but also those around us. And Greg and I together, we spoke about this too in an article on empathy. So make sure you check that one out. It was on a previous podcast. And the importance of human connection and friendship, it can't be overstated. And especially as we navigate the complexities of our mid-years and the changes that life brings. And these relationships, wow, they provide so much support, encouragement, and inspiration that we really need to we need to continue to live our best life. And prioritizing those friendships, nurturing connections, and building community. Well, we're not only enriching our own lives, but we also contribute to a more connected and a compassionate world. So take the time to reach out, show someone you care. I'll write a little note, give them some fruit, give them a flower. If you have somebody left me a flower when I was nursing a cough. It was so sweet. I kept it on my counter for a week. Invest in relationships that matter most. After all, it's these connections that make life really, truly, truly meaningful. So make sure that you connect with me. Make sure you're getting our articles, goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter. I have several different websites. You can find all of those online. Deborah Johnson Speaker, DJ Works Music, but make sure you're getting our newsletter. Also, halftimesuccess.com, a lot of products there. Many of those are affiliates that have been on previous podcasts or upcoming podcasts. Wonderful entrepreneurs. So make sure you check those out. And I just appreciate you joining me. I hope you take actions on this. Friendships are so very important. I've found they're even more and more important for me at this stage of my life. So connect with me in all of these places. Make sure you check out our courses as well. Hero Mountain Summit is wonderful, but you don't put off planning the rest of your life today. Thanks so much, and I'll look forward to being with you again next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us. It is because of our wonderful listeners like you that we keep going strong week after week. We'd love it if you'd share and follow us to not miss a single show and even write a review. You can also find all of our articles, products, and links at womenathalftime.com.